Hello guys, welcome back to my channel. To those of you who are new here, I am Protoy, a second year high school student in Northern College, Dhaka, Bangladesh. I make videos on productivity and share some of my tricks and techniques that helps me keep myself productive in this lockdown. Today, we're going to talk about a technique that I use to help me remember things more effectively and also retain information for longer periods of time. So make sure to subscribe to my channel and smash that like button if you want to see more of my videos. So without further ado, let's proceed. So before we start, let me tell you guys a story that happened to this guy. But I need you to imagine the story closing your eyes, and this event is happening to you because you are the guy. Your name is Ethan.
Ethan has a sister, Molly. Ethan is set out on a long drive to see Molly from another town. It's a long drive there, so on his way he decides to stop nearby and get some rest. He sees a temple nearby. He decides to stop over there and get some fresh air. But in front of the car, he sees a big board saying, "Parking here will be vitally charged." So he parks his car somewhere else. When he gets off the car, he's surprised by a gigantic sprinting hen that is chasing after him for no reason at all. Needless to say, Ethan is surprised by this event, and even though Ethan is wearing Oxford shoes which he brought from Brad Pitt's store, he runs for his life.
You'll be surprised to know that I just taught you the 8 cranial bones of the human body. How? Take a look. You, being Ethan, going to see Molly is basically your ethmoid bones. You come across a temple is your temporal bone. To the front of your car is frontal bone, and parking here will be vitally charged is parietal bone. The sprinting hen represents sphenoid bones, and your Oxford shoes from Brad Pitt's store is basically occipital bones. This is the mind palace technique. The mind palace, the memory palace, the memory journey, or simply the method of Loci, is a method that is used to retain piles of lists of words, phone numbers, information inside the human mind for longer periods of time if used effectively. And of course, if you've watched Sherlock, then you do know what I'm talking about. Sherlock Holmes is a fiction written by Sir Arthur Conan Doyle in the late 19th centuries. The series comprises of 56 stories and 4 novels featuring a private detective, Sherlock Holmes, in Baker Street, London, in England. He solves crimes like it's a piece of cake for him, but of course, that comes when he uses his mind palace. If you've watched the series Sherlock, which is an adapted series of the actual Sherlock Holmes stories and novels, then you might have come across the mind palace technique that he uses to retain information for longer periods of time and solve cases. The mind palace is a memory setting where you associate with yourself certain pieces of relevant information you want to remember with augmented environmental places. For example, it can be a shop, or the street you live in, or the structure of a certain building. The user is more likely to retain the information the more he or she passes by those certain places he has linked the relevant information to. Fun, isn't it? And in fact, this is the very technique that many memory athletes follow in order to remember their stuff as well. According to a study published March 8, 2017 in the journal Neuron, the brains of 17 of the world's top 50 memory champions actually look fairly similar to the brains of people with no standout memory. There are key differences, but the researchers behind the study found that when people with normal memory capabilities adopted the preferred strategies of the competitive memorizers, the brains started to take on the same unique activity and then connectivity patterns. These connectivity patterns involve linking certain specific terms or phone numbers or anything to real-life events that are both close to the observer and also easy to imagine. This is just the technique we followed in learning the 8 cranial bones of our human body. What's fun about the technique is that it is very easy to carry out and also very good for remembering minute details as well. And of course, the more you're likely to practice this technique frequently, the more you are likely to remember information for a longer period of time. Let me know in the comment sections below if you're gonna try this method out and you found this technique fun. And make sure you subscribe and smash that like button. And I'll be back again with another video next week soon, inshallah. Till then, Assalamu alaikum.